so I can talk a little bit about the coalitions and alliances that FIERCE is a part of. FIERCE was a founding member organization in Right to the City Alliance, which I don't know, has anyone heard of Right to the City here? Awesome, okay, so a few folks. Right to the City is a national alliance of anti-gentrification organizations working on a variety of different issues, but primarily based on this idea that, you know, I think currently, maybe it started in like 2008, over 50% of the world's population lives in urban areas. So really like re-examining kind of the city as the site for like radical and revolutionary social change and transformation. So Right to the City is it's a national alliance, but then there's also local kind of chapter alliances. So we were a founding member organization. FIERCE, I think, is the only LGBTQ organization in the alliance. So really what our work has been is thinking about how important it is for to really see the visibility and leadership of LGBTQ youth and LGBTQ folks of color within the anti-gentrification movement and sort of within this idea of kind of like urban movement organizing. So it's been really important for us to also reframe the debate around gentrification beyond just housing issues, but also looking at kind of the privatization of public space, which is an issue that's relevant to a lot of communities, but particularly for LGBTQ communities and LGBTQ youth. So Right to the City is one alliance that we work on, and we work with a lot of organizations that there's a lot of queer folks in Right to the City. There's a lot of queer folks in general in the movement, but there's not a lot of queer organizations, and so really like kind of bringing about our perspective on these issues has been really important, and also just being able to work with organizations that kind of have different issues and different constituencies than us. And then we're also a part of the Grassroots Global Justice Alliance, which is kind of the alliance that's bringing together a lot of the grassroots movement in the United States and connecting it with the resistance movements of the Global South. And at first it was through bringing a presence of our movement through delegations to the World Social Forums, and it's since kind of expanded into also being a part of organizing the first US Social Forum that happened in 2007. The next one's going to be in Detroit in 2010, and working on issues around like immigration, migration, the war, and militarization. What else? There's a whole bunch of different working groups that the Alliance has, but definitely trying to link our issues with thinking about global and international issues and thinking about capitalism and imperialism, particularly in this economic moment, and how our grassroots movements are addressing those issues and linking our issues to that. So FIERCE, I think, again, is the only LGBTQ organization in GGJ, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong, if anybody knows. But again, this is a place where we find that, like, for us, it totally makes sense. Like, we see the connection. Not everyone else sees the connection, but we definitely see the connection and the importance of being able to work with other organizations that are doing economic justice and racial justice work. Again, there's a lot of queer folks represented within those organizations, but they're not explicitly LGBTQ focused. And this is an opportunity for us to actually really connect our issues and see them as linked, and also leverage our power and kind of work together. We've realized that actually we can get a lot more visibility kind of as an alliance and a coalition than just as singular organizations. And now is like a really important opportunity for us to be thinking about our movements on a national level and not just on a like individual kind of local level, but really thinking about how we're kind of building the scope and depth of our movement and needing to do that actually on a national level. So those are two examples of the work we do, and then also engaging in kind of this queer left process and thinking about, like Reina said, not just about kind of organizing the mainstream movement, but really like building what we, kind of what our vision is for liberation and being able to do that through relationship building, through organizational support. Like right now, a lot of our organizations are going through some serious shit because of the economy, and this is also an important time when like our relationships are not just about power and our ability to win campaigns, they're about like really like, you know, supporting our organizations through big transitions and thinking about like if we need to share resources, if we need to consider what a more strategic formation is for us to kind of weather this period, but also if we need to like reframe or redirect some of our work, like needing to do that together kind of in unity is really important right now.
Thank you. So started a little bit late. We were set to end around 5. If I can ask the panelists if you'd all be willing to stay till 5:15. Not 5? Yeah. 5:30? Okay.
Cool.
All right, then let's open up to the audience. First, I want to thank all 3 of you for really sharing some really valuable information and experiences. And anyone have any questions to jumpstart us off?
Reina, you talked about like how your organization wants to treat power horizontally.
Yeah.
And I was wondering, you read about that a lot in theory and like seeing sides of power. I was wondering how that becomes institutionalized.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah. So for folks who didn't hear, the question was about how does sharing power horizontally become institutionalized? And I wonder if you didn't mind like defining how you understand sharing power horizontally.
Yeah, I imagine it as sort of moving away from utilization of administrative power as an organizational tool and seeing it as more one that moves back and has members constantly involved in decision making.